Hello and welcome to today's episode of Gardening and Allotment Tips, hosted by Gardening with Ben. If you've not listened to my latest podcasts on Gardening with Ben channel, go over and find it. Just type in Gardening with Ben and you will be able to find it. There's over 100 episodes on there for you to listen to. But this podcast is a new podcast and these are just 5-minute short little episodes talking about a different tip each and every single episode, bringing you them on a regular basis. So make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all these latest episodes. So in today's episode we're going to talk about rhubarb. Yes, rhubarb. It's one of the well-known things for growing where I live in Yorkshire. There's actually a rhubarb triangle, I think it's called. I need to look into that more, but I'm sure it is. And rhubarb is very expensive to buy in the supermarkets. I don't know why, because it's so easy to grow, but it's so expensive to purchase. So I have 16 plants, and I definitely have a great supply of rhubarb throughout the summer period, and all my friends and family enjoy the rhubarb because I certainly can't freeze it all for the amount that I do get from my plants. And during the winter time, it's the time when you need to look after those rhubarb plants and give them the food and the energy that they need for the year ahead. So what I usually do around this time of year, all the leaves will have died back and etc. from around the rhubarb plants, so it's a good idea to clear away any of the old rubbish from around the rhubarb plants, clean them up, get rid of any weeds what have been growing around them, and also I tend to just loosen the soil a bit around it, and also I add either some old compost around it or add some mulch. But if you're adding mulch to it, make sure you don't put it right up to where the crown is, as that could rot it as the mulch rots down and you'd end up losing your rhubarb. One other good tip I have for rhubarb is that usually just as it's starting to wake up, probably in a couple of months time, like in February time, even though mine seems to have woke up a bit too early, it started sprouting already, I usually give it a good feed for the year ahead. I usually get some chicken pellets and I usually sprinkle them around the rhubarb crowns. That gives it the energy it needs to kickstart it and get that rhubarb growing, because rhubarb does obviously take a lot of nutrients away from the ground because it lives on that and feeds off it. So you need to make sure that it's got the food it needs to get going. Some people do like to split the rhubarbs every so often to create new plants, and now is obviously the perfect time to be doing this, because the rhubarb is dormant, which means it's meant to be hibernating and sleeping and not growing, even though mine started sprouting. But I think the temperatures are very strange this year. Apparently it's going to be the warmest New Year's Eve in records, but temperatures are very strange at the moment. But going off what it should be doing, now is the time to split them if you want to. In a case of splitting them, all you need to do is dig them up and split them with a spade in half or into quarters, and then dig it back into the ground, and obviously giving it the food it needs, putting some chicken pellets around it, making sure that it's weed free around the plant, and giving it the love and attention it needs to get going. But you may not necessarily be able to pick the rhubarb from it in the first year, because the crown won't be solid in the ground, it will still be loose, and pulling rhubarb off it could dislodge it. So you want to leave it in the ground for the year and don't pick it till the year after. Let it get settled as if you would do from a new crown what you've planted in the ground. And if you want to grow rhubarb from seed, it's so easy to do. Just buy some seeds, sprinkle them in a seed tray, and hey presto, you've got yourself a rhubarb plant. So that's been our podcast for today, your 5-minute episode. Make sure you do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben podcasts.